The world may be going crazy right now, but at least we have books. Hello everyone. My name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel, Grace with Books. Today I am super excited to be showing you guys all the books I've gotten recently to read during this extended period of isolation. As you can tell, I'm back home. I was going to be home this week anyway for my spring break, but my university has decided to extend that spring break by 2 weeks, so I'll be doing online classes for the next 2 weeks following spring break. And although the school would like to have all the students back on campus by April 6th, and I'm an optimist, so I would love to believe that, I do know that the state of the world is in, and I know that it probably won't be better in 2 weeks. So I am skeptical that I will be back in my dorm by then, but you know, I'm choosing to look at the positive. And speaking of positives, I recently went to the library and to the bookstore to stock up on books for this extended period of time when I will probably have not a lot to do but to read and talk to you guys, so please comment below, let's have a discussion. So I cannot wait to show you guys what I got. My library officially closes tomorrow, which is Monday the 16th, and so I went yesterday to just stock up, and I'm so excited. I got so many books. I just like picked up whatever was interesting, and then I went to the Amazon bookstore near me and I got books from there. So you know what? Let's just share. Let's get into it. I try to get books from a lot of different genres as to not burn out on any one thing. I like to have variety, so we are actually going to start with The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. I don't know much about this book, but I do know that Helen Hoang is a wonderful romance writer. I think it is about a mixed race woman named Esme who is trying to seduce an autistic man named Kai. I don't know if that is the exact summary, but just from a quick glance at the back, that is what I got. It looks really interesting. I hope that they do disability rep well. I've heard that it is really done well, so I'm really looking forward to it because, as y'all know, I've been really into adult romances recently, so really excited to try this as well. The next thing that I got from the library is one I've actually been really excited about, and that is Ember Queen by Laura Sebastian. This is the third book in the Ash Princess trilogy, the first one being Ash Princess, then Lady Smoke, then Ember Queen. I have loved this series. It hasn't been talked about a bunch on BookTube or Bookstagram, but I really think it does everything right. It is about a princess who basically her entire kingdom was taken over when she was young. Her mother was killed, and the Kaiser, or the king of the overtaking country, takes her and makes her a symbol of defeat so that her people will obey theirs. And this book is about her finally wanting to rise up and take back the kingdom, and this is the finale of those events. And the last book ended on such a cliffhanger, and I am so excited to see how it all wraps up because I've really enjoyed the writing and the female empowerment aspects of this series so far, so I'm just really looking forward to it. Next up, we have Hunted by Megan Spooner. I believe this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think it came out a while ago, but I just came across it in the library and thought the description sounded really interesting, so I'm super excited to get to it. I believe it is about a girl named Eva whose father goes missing, and she has to go out into the woods to find him, and there she comes across a beast. And since it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I'm assuming there's some sort of magic element with a curse or something like that, but I sort of like not knowing what's gonna happen in this book. A lot of Beauty and the Beast retellings are very similar. The only ones I've seen sort of break that mold are Court of Thorns and Roses and A Curse So Dark and Lonely, so I think that I want to go into this as unfiltered, I guess, as possible. I don't want to know anything about it going into it, so I know it has to do with the woods, yada yada yada. You can sort of tell from the cover that she's hunting this beast, so I'm really excited to see how it turns out. The next book I've been really hesitant to pick up. I've heard of it and I have wanted to read it, but I found it really difficult to start, and so I decided finally, with all this free time on my hands, I would decide to pick it up, and that is The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbi. Being from a Jewish background, books and topics relating to and about the Holocaust have been really difficult for me to read. I've read Night by Elie Wiesel, and that was a lot, and I actually read that in 8th grade as a part of my school curriculum, and it just was very difficult because it's a very sad topic and a very sad time in my people's history. So I finally decided to pick this up. It is about a girl named Dita who in her camp in Auschwitz was asked to guard these 8 volumes that their people had kept safe from the Nazis, and she becomes the Librarian of Auschwitz. That's all I know about it. I think I will have to be not in a good mood to read this, but it's going to be something I'm going to have to read like in the day when there's light outside, and definitely not something for the nighttime when all the bad feelings start to arise. But I really am looking forward to finally reading this book and sort of getting that information. Whew. The last book I picked up from the library is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. So I did finish the Throne of Glass series a while ago, earlier last year, and I count that as finished. I finished it. I just did not read Tower of Dawn. Tower of Dawn is, I believe, Kale's story. I know a bit about it, was spoiled a bit in Kingdom of Ash, obviously, because a lot of those things come to light, but I didn't really care about Kale when I was reading that book, so I felt no need to read this book that's just all about him. But you know, I got time on my hands right now. A lot of people did really like this book, so I thought, even though I sort of know how it ends, I would give it a try. Plus, look at this big thing. That's gonna keep me occupied for quite some time. I lied, I have one more library book and she's a big one. The last book I got from the library is, the Illustrated Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I cannot believe they had these at the library. Like, they are so much money. I've been so hesitant to buy them, and it turns out I could have just been checking them out, which is super exciting. They didn't have the first or second books, which is fine. Prisoner of Azkaban has always been one of my favorite books in the Harry Potter series, and I'm really looking forward to just reliving it again with these beautiful illustrations and all of that fun stuff. So I'm super excited to get to this. And those are all of my library books. I do have a few more things that I've bought recently, and I would love to share them with you. First up is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is about a princess, I believe, or a girl who deals with soul magic, and when she tries to demonstrate it at this big festival or event, something goes horribly wrong, and she has to go on this journey to discover what went wrong. All I know is that she has to flee. She finds a pirate, and they go on a trip to recover her magic or something like that. But this has been a very hyped up book. Very big when it was released really recently too. It's a very new book, and I'm super excited to get to it because pirates are... love them. So excited to read this book. Next up, this one I found in the Amazon bookstore, and I had to buy it because I was just laughing so hysterically at the cover and the back. There was no way I couldn't pick this up, and that would be The Bromance Book Club by Lyssa Kay Adams. This is about a, I believe, baseball player whose marriage and home life is sort of falling apart, but he loves his wife and he wants to make it work. So he is invited to join this romance book club that has members of all like these like hunky all these like macho men of where he's from, and they read this book called Courting the Countess. And these guys in the book club help this baseball player, I believe his name is Gavin, to save his marriage. Bromance book club that is secret, filled with just a bunch of macho men. I mean, how can you not pick that up? Look at this cover. He has like the book cover in his hand, in his back pocket. I'm so excited to read this. Like, you have no idea. I'm so excited because I think this is just the funniest idea ever. The last book I am sharing with you guys, and it is the last, but it is certainly not the least because everyone has been crazy about this book, including me. I'm so excited to finally get to it, and that, of course, is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, which is the first book in her new adult series of Crescent City. Don't know much about this book, but it has a really pretty cover. And I know it has to do with fae and fallen angels and a mystery, and it's a bit more modernized than her other two series. I know that it takes place in some sort of version of our world, so that's really exciting. And you know, it's a big one. I think it has like 94 chapters. I counted earlier. 94 chapters. 94 chapters. That is the all-consuming fantasy I have been needing since Kingdom of Ash. So excited to finally get to this wonderful book. And these these are all the books I am planning to read during this quarantine, and it's a lot, but it's a good thing that we have so much free time coming up. If you've read any of these books, please comment down below which one you think I should start with, which ones are your favorites, what books you have recently gotten or are planning to read during this extensive quarantine. I'm also linking some websites down below that talk a bit about self-distancing and mental health, because with anxiety myself, I know that I get really anxious during these more uncertain times, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way, so please go check out those links if you are interested in getting some information on how to practice self-care during this quarantine. And sorry, I had to close the blind because it was too much light all of a sudden. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single Thursday, though I'm thinking of switching back to Mondays because I have time now. And I will see you guys in my next video. Okay. Bye everyone, stay safe.